I've made hundreds of videos about the car market and how inventory is piling up, some brands more than others. And while there are a ton of different reasons for this, one reason that I think isn't talked about enough just comes down to sheer greed. The truth is, many automakers have simply just priced out the average consumer from buying a car in 2025, at least buying cars that we actually want to buy. Car prices went up in 2021 due to supply and demand. The pandemic caused car manufacturing to come to a halt, but stimulus and low interest rates kept cars in high demand, which depleted all of the supply. And once that happened, well, car prices increased by a lot. But as we sit here today in 2025, the inventory situation has drastically changed. But despite this, car prices haven't gone down, and they certainly haven't been going down at the same rate that they went up whenever inventory was depleted. And that's kind of the point. Consumers are tired of what feels like a car market that works against them, and while we can blame things like the economy and interest rates on why inventory is piling up with automakers, the truth is, many automakers have priced us out of buying cars in 2025, at least when it comes to actually buying the cars that we want to buy. Here we are at a local Jeep dealership, and these are brand new Jeep vehicles. And according to Cox Automotive's most recently inventory report, Jeep has a 128-day supply, which is well above the industry average. But in 2024, Jeep had its sixth straight year of sales declines, seeing a 3% decrease in sales, and it's no question as to why. Back in 2019, before the pandemic, MSRP for a Jeep was anywhere between $29,540 for the Sport, all the way up to $39,890 for the Rubicon or Sahara models. Today, these same models are much more expensive. I mean, let's take a look at this 2025 Jeep Wrangler Sport. You can see right here that this car is $54,655, and this does not even include any add-ons. And while sure, this car is absolutely clean, is it worth over $54,000? I don't think so. We have this 2025 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, which is one of Jeep's most fully loaded Wrangler vehicles, and this car is an astronomical $72,250. And if you look really closely inside of this car, you can see that it has cloth interior. I cannot imagine a reality of spending nearly $75,000 for a car, not including tax, title, licensing, dealer fees, or any miscellaneous add-ons, and not getting leather interior with that car. The starting price of these cars went from $29,540 in 2019 for the Jeep Wrangler Sport, all the way up to $37,290 for the same car in 2025. That is a 26% increase. And despite the fact that this Rubicon cost over $72,000, they actually do start at $52,000, which is a 30% higher starting point than the same car back in 2019. And I think that this Jeep Wrangler right here is a great example of how quickly the cost of these cars can add up. Because if $72,000 gets you cloth seats, then I'd hate to see what $52,000 gets you. It is no wonder why Jeep is seeing declining deliveries and lackluster sales. These cars are just far too expensive. But Jeep is not the only dealership doing this. Let's take a look at Ford. Ford has some of the highest inventory of any other automaker with a 138-day supply. And similar to Jeep, you look at these prices and there really is no question as to why. Back in 2019, the Ford F-150 started at $28,155. Today, the F-150 starts at $37,065. That's a nearly 32% increase. And these price increases under Ford's lineup aren't limited to their trucks, because Ford vehicles across the board, from their SUVs to their Mustangs to their trucks to their Broncos, they are extremely expensive. And one thing that you may notice whenever you look at a Ford dealership, in fact, most dealerships nowadays, is that there is one specific segment of car that is noticeably missing, and that is the cheap, small, economical car. Because you certainly can't find that here at Ford, at least not for new vehicles, which raises the barrier to entry with any new car today in 2025. Now, whenever you take a look at Ford, it does feel a little bit more reasonable, because while Ford does have very, very expensive cars, some of them do feel a bit more affordable than something like Jeep. For example, we have a Ford Explorer right here, which if we take a look, you can see that this car is priced at $45,824. But this feeling of affordability quickly dissipates whenever you take a look at models like the Ford Bronco. We have this Bronco right here, which costs $62,424, with Ford's F-Series trucks getting increasingly more and more expensive, costing $98,909. And you look at something like the Ford Maverick, which is behind me, and this car sells extremely well because it is extremely affordable. At about $31,000, this car feels like a steal of a price, but you're still getting cloth seats. and ultimately a really basic vehicle for the price. This is a problem across the board, and Toyota is no different, and Toyota is one that I find particularly interesting. Because Toyota has long been considered a reliable, accessible, and great car for the average Joe. But current price trends have also made Toyota inaccessible to the average Joe. In 2019, the Toyota 4Runner started at $35,455. Today, it starts at $40,770. That is a modest increase of only 15%, but as we go up the Toyota lineup, that increase becomes larger, with the TRD Pro seeing a whopping 44% price increase since 2019. And similar to other brands that we've discussed in this video, this is an issue throughout the board across Toyota's entire lineup. Now, this dealership behind me has 3 Land Cruisers in stock. This is one of them. And while this car has a suggested retail price of $59,625, once you add on dealership add-ons, which can be found here, things like powertrain warranty, nitro-filled tires, window tint, door edge, and cup guards, as well as a handful of other things, this car is priced at $65,620. Which, for those of you who've seen my channel before, you know that this is what I believe is everything wrong about the modern dealership. Now, this dealership also has plenty of new Tacomas in stock as well. We have this more basic model, which has a suggested retail price of $37,508, but after dealership add-ons costs closer to $43,503. This higher trim model, which I got to admit, I love this color. This has a suggested retail price of $52,057, but once you take into account all of the add-ons, it comes out to $58,000. Now, this dealership does not have any brand new 4Runners in stock, but they do have the somewhat newish Sequoias, which is the larger cousin of the 4Runner. And this car has a suggested retail price of $86,559, but again, you mark up a bunch of BS and it brings it to over $92,000. I could go on and on with different vehicles, different makes and models that have seen extremely high price increases. Cars that 5 or 6 years ago would have cost around $30,000 to $40,000 and are now costing between $50,000, $60,000, even $70,000. And the unfortunate reality is that this isn't a trend that is specific to any one make or model. We are seeing it across the board in the entire car market, from a variety of different makes and models, like the Tacoma, the Land Cruiser, from Ford in their trucks, in their Broncos. And don't even get me started on luxury dealerships and automakers, which I could make an entire video about. The point is, sure, interest rates, tariffs, the economy, all of these have been, could, and may impact the car market moving forward. But the real reason why consumers feel as though cars are unaffordable is because they are. 30 to 50% price increases over the course of 3 to 5 years. Who can afford that? Like always, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it. So make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video.